Hey y'all, happy Wednesday. So, again, looking at the Boaz and Ruth. And so with Tamar, we talked about the Levir, right? The law where the brother or the father-in-law could fulfill be a surrogate basically to continue the line. Um, in the same type of way. So that scripture, one of those scriptures is Leviticus 25:25. It says, if your brother has become poor and has sold some of his property or has passed, if any of his kin comes to redeem it, he shall be allowed to redeem what his brother has sold. And then where's Deuteronomy? We're coming up to that. So Boaz, this is chapter 4, Ruth chapter 4. Then Boaz went up to the city gates and sat down there, and behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz had spoken came by. And he said to him, Ho, such a one, come aside or turn aside and sit down. So he turned and sat down, and Boaz took 10 men of the elders of the city and sat down, and they all sat down. Did a lot of sitting, it sounds like. And he said to the kinsman, Naomi, who has returned from the country of Moab, has sold a parcel of land which belonged to our brother Elimelech. Remember what we just read from Leviticus 25. And I thought to let you hear of it, saying, buy it in the presence of those sitting here and before the elders of my people. If you will redeem it, redeem it. But if you will not redeem it, then say so that I may know. For there is no one besides you to redeem it, and I am next of kin after you. And the man said, I will redeem it. Then Boaz said, the day you buy the field of Naomi, you must also buy Ruth the Moabitess, the widow of the dead man, to restore the name of the dead to his inheritance. And the kinsman said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest by marrying a Moabitess I endanger my own inheritance. Take my right of redemption for yourself, for I cannot redeem it. This, interesting. So if we go back, it gives a reference to Deuteronomy 23:3-4, because the near kinsman says, I can't redeem it and I can't take Ruth. I can't do that because it will endanger my own inheritance, right? Because if he takes Ruth, it's her line. It's all about lineage in the Jewish history, and it's all about lineage. So if we go to Deuteronomy chapter 23, verses 3 and 4, it says, an Ammonite or a Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Even to their 10th generation, their descendants shall not enter into the assembly of the Lord forever, because they did not meet you with food and water on the way when you came forth out of Egypt, and because they hired Balaam, son of Beor, and Pethor of Mesopotamia against you to curse you. So that's the Moabites. So this near kinsman says, I would take the field, but I'm not taking the field on the woman because she's a Moabite. What I want you to think about in all of these details is that these women were in the lineage of Jesus. That everything we have talked about, even about the men and the inheritance, and these people, the Levir, where they could be surrogate to preserve the line, and then this man will not be a kinsman redeemer because it will mess up his line, and everything is about lineage. But these women, and the lines are all about the Father, which actually we're about to read. But these women made it into the genealogy of Jesus. And that's huge. And so my footnote says that it must be remembered that according to the Jewish law, the children followed the father, not the mother. Take the family of Boaz, for example. Although Boaz's wife, Ruth, was a Moabitess, his family was considered Israelite, including his wife. The case of Ruth would not therefore be touched by this particular precept that we read in Deuteronomy. And so Boaz says that he will buy the field and be the kinsman. And so they agreed upon it, and then Boaz says to the elders in verse 9, "You are witnesses this day that I have bought all that was Elimelech's and all that was Chilion's and Mahlon's from the hand of Naomi. Also Ruth the Moabitess, the widow of Mahlon, Mahlon, I have bought to be my wife, to restore the name of the dead to his inheritance. The name of the dead may not be cut off from among his brethren and from the gate of his birthplace. You are witnesses this day." And all the people at the gate and the elders said, "We are witnesses. May the Lord make the woman who is coming into your house like Rachel and Leah, the two who built the household of Israel. May you do worthily and get wealth and power in Ephratah and be famous in Bethlehem. Listen to this, and let your house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah, because of the offspring which the Lord will give you by this young woman." So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. And the Lord caused her to conceive, and she bore a son. And the women said to Naomi, "Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you this day without a close kinsman." I'm going to cry. Kinsman. "And may his name be famous in Israel. And may he be to you a restorer of life, and a nourisher and a supporter in your old age. For your daughter-in-law who loves you is better to you than 7 sons has borne him." My goodness. Tamar is even in the closing of Ruth. And what a story of redemption and favor and blessing. And this Moabitess, who in Deuteronomy, the Israelites are told they can't come into the congregation of the Lord. But Boaz says, "I take her and redeem. I take her and redeem." There is such a thread of redemption woven through the accounts of these women: Tamar, Rahab, and Ruth. And next, we talk about Bathsheba. All right, I'll see y'all. Bye.